All right, y'all. What's up? This is your boy Professor X. It's been about 4 months, but decided to come up. I got brother Reese brother Reese here with me. We're gonna talk about some of the latest wrestling topics 21, and the big discussion, discussion that has made Vince and WWE irrelevant and remotely entertaining. Is not what's on Monday nights or Friday nights. It's what's going on in the corporate office, and I'm talking about Vince McMahon returning, electing himself on the board of directors, and all to sell WWE. So, Reese, what is your first thoughts?
My first thought when it became official that Vince was back, I was like, "Oh Lord!" 6 months of good work starting to head back down the drain again because I would say this, like from SummerSlam all the way through the end of the year of 2022, I was like, "Shit, WWE is actually starting to get the picture again." And yeah, and isn't it a little ironic that in that same 6 month saying that the first cracks were starting to show with AEW? But then, as soon as Vince starts coming back, yeah, things flip back to status quo, and then NXT's dropping, our Raw's dropping, and it's like, whatever. And it's like, oh, Lord, Vince is back. And here's his ego getting ready to ruin us something good.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, and the official statement says today we announced that the founder of WWE, Vince McMahon, will be returning to the board. Said chairwoman and co-CEO, well now former chairwoman and co-CEO Stephanie McMahon, and co-CEO Nick Khan, and Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque. We welcome back. Also, he brought back with him Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, who he fired not too long ago, to our board of directors. Together, we look forward to exploring all strategic alternatives to maximize shareholder value. Oh boy. And also, there's another link here where some people said well, this is probably talent. Some people in WWE want out if Vince McMahon comes back. So with that being said, okay, so now he's back. But now little did we know he's coming back to basically it was said later he wants to sell the company, and you've got buyers out there, feelers out there, Disney, NBC, the Saudis. Now the Saudis, which was rumored to have bought, but that was all a bad clickbait rumor. The, the Saudi company, the Saudis have 620 billion. That's a lot of money. Now, I wouldn't see why Vince wouldn't even I can see why Vince would deal with them. I mean, if they have the most money, why not sell to them? But of course, like I said, see, it's the Saudis. And the thing is, the town already said they'll leave if they sell to the Saudi Arabia. Like I said, Saudi Arabia houses terrorists. You know what I mean? I know you
Yep.
like money, but why would you sell to a foreign country who houses enemies of the United States? It just it's just it's a lot of. I mean, I understand the bottom dollar, but other stuff, doesn't make sense. Also,
And
let me read you another article right here. Also, it says says those the reasons he also came back was he wants to help secure new TV rights deals for Raw and SmackDown ahead of those contracts expiring in September 2024, and look for potential bidders and interested in buying the company. And they've hired a guy named J.P. Morgan to help the company advise on a potential sale. Says if the deal occurs, it would likely occur in the next 3 to 6 months. Said the people who asked not to be named. I wonder why. Because the discussions are private, and WWE plans to talk to potential buyers before it makes a decision on TV rights renewal agreements. So right there, see, this is mostly about not just the money, but TV rights and broadcasting rights to different streams and platforms. You know. So as far as that goes, like, what are your thoughts on that?
man, again, this is gonna be Vince's ego coming into my like. First of all, yeah, like you were bringing up to me off the air. It's like Vince. Guess what? The moment you sell that company, yeah, you can enjoy that money all you want to, but guess what? You ain't going to be part of the new company. And that's even if you keep yourself, even if you like keep it as, okay, I'll let y'all buy it, but oh, I'm still keeping the 50% of the company still or whatever it is because, yeah, they're going to want 100 of it. And that's going to make sure that you're not a part of the company anymore and don't try to, oh, you'll buy it or you sell it for this much, but then you'll buy it back for cheaper. Yeah, because nobody's going to wind up going for that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And also at the time when he came back, you remember that employee meeting, all hands on deck meeting.
Yep.
So right here, the all hands on deck company meeting held today by WWE executives Stephanie and Nick Khan and Frank Riddick kicked off at 3:45 p.m. and concluded just before 4 p.m. At that time. A lot of what was stated earlier in the company press release was confirmed, including the news that Vince is back on board of the directors. It was reiterated that the current management will stay in place, and the latest moves were portrayed as a positive thing that will help the company with future deals, notably the media rights for Raw and SmackDown. Also, Stephanie, who was a part of that meeting, was telling the talent that ain't nothing to worry about. Creative's going to say this. Creative is going to stay the same. But then, just a few days later, which was very shocking and ironic, Stephanie McMahon herself announces her resignation, and I'm like, well, oh boy. And it's right here. It says, "Dear WWE employees, about 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence, and within a few weeks, unexpectedly, had the opportunity of a lifetime. I had the privilege to return as the co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. I cannot put into words how proud I am to have led what I consider to be the greatest company in the world, working alongside a remarkable leadership team and one of the strongest executives I have known in my co-CEO, Nick Khan." Says our founder, Vince, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives. And with Nick's leadership and Paul as chief content officer, I am confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my leave and take it one step further with my official resignation. Then, now, and forever together, Stephanie McMahon. And I'm like, yeah, the whole thing is on Twitter too, on 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 their Twitter. And also, she says she's going to return to being a fan like she was when she was a little girl watching Andre the Giant. And like I said, someone else said they couldn't read that with a straight face.
And
And basically, Nick Khan was promoted to I think a executive CEO. So Stephanie McMahon resigns right after Vince rejoins and and gives that meeting, gives that pep talk to the wrestlers about nothing's going to change, nothing's going to affect creative. But then again, why would you quit so fast? So something happened. They had some kind of falling out. Something's going on. Something wrong. So Reese, lay on us your wisdom. So what are your thoughts on that when you see and hear that?
what it at least the Stephanie part, that one shocked me because Stephanie was like I said, even though she hasn't always agreed with Vince and everything, I was like, if anything, she was probably the one. She was probably the one person that I saw like really having a company and whatnot because, like I said, Shane fell out like along the way. And Stephanie, despite the fact that WWE was headed in a negative direction, she kept fighting to trying to make it, to trying to keep it above and try to bring some positivity back to the company, even despite um Vince always trying to make controversial decisions or whatever. But I can tell you what, that I can't, at the same time, I kind of can't say I didn't see this coming because let's be real, Stephanie's done a lot of good public relations work with the WWE, even in spite of Vince. But there's only so much she could do on her own. And let's not forget, like, she's a mother. And actually, I know, like, one of her daughters is definitely a teenager. I don't know if the other, I think, like, one's approaching it. So
I
I know,
heard,
like, on that
yeah,
aspect, yeah.
yeah,
So
I
in
heard
that
all
aspect,
three.
I can understand
Go ahead.
Stephanie wants to like be at home with her kids while there's still kids and whatnot. But like I said, I think Stephanie, I think Stephanie was kind of at a breaking point because it was like I know she loves Vince, like, but at the same point, there's like only so many times she could take her side before or take his side before finally thinking that enough's enough.
Yeah, I got you now. I've heard all three of her daughters are teenagers now. I've heard all three because I think one of them is training to be a wrestler herself now a little bit. I don't know. I just that's what I've heard a glimpse of. But like I said, family is family. The family. A lot of times with families like that, famous families like that, with a family business with all this money going around, that can eventually break up the family in a way. You know what I mean? So I don't know what kind of falling out they had. I'm guessing Stephanie is classy enough to keep it out of the public eye. But sometimes those statements that they make and things and actions, the timing of their actions, it kind of lets things slip. So there's something going on between them because let me try to get that page again. Hold on. Yeah, the last part of her statement was, "I look forward to cheering on WWE from the other side of the business where I started when I was a little kid as a pure fan. I will always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars, and our fans. And I'm grateful to all of our partners. Thank you for everything. Then, now, forever together." So, right there it tells you, uh, uh, tells you something. Also, there's something. Let's see. I know I had it up. I got a page up. It's about Nick Khan. Oh yeah, here it is. Apparently, Nick Khan was a buffer who kept things smooth between Vince and Steph. Right here, it says there will be some friction between family members anytime they work together in a business, and WWE was no different for the McMahon family. It says for years, Vince ran the ship as chairman and CEO, while Stephanie worked as an executive, and Paul was a talent before transitioning into an executive. That dynamic changed when Vince resigned from his duties amid the hush money scandal over the summer. Stephanie was named chairwoman and shared responsibilities as co-CEO with Nick Khan. At the same time, Triple H took over main roster creative. Last week, Vince elected himself back to the WWE board of directors as he looks to sell the company, although Stephanie put on a strong face in a meeting with employees hours after the announcement was made. She resigned from the company this past Tuesday while Vince was officially named chairman of the board. And now, once again, right there, see, that right there is a slip of the tongue of what might be going on. So if Nick Khan was like a mediator between the two, then there was more friction than she's letting on. So, and I'm thinking whatever is going on with Vince, the way he came back and elected himself to the board, maybe that might have been the camel that broke Stephanie's back, because maybe technically, she like other people don't want him back. You know what I mean? Because things were going good, and for him to come back, especially with the scandal still fresh in people's minds, kind of makes the company look good or look bad, and there might be some backlash to people wanting to buy it. But like I said, your thoughts on that?
I agree because it's like now, and not only that, but I'm thinking a lot of the wrestlers don't even want to come back because you think about it. Look at how many people, like a couple months ago, were probably chilling in catering or getting loose push. Now they're getting things. Now they're getting things worked up for them. Prime example, Ricochet. Like he got into a great series of intercontinental title matches with Walter or Gunther. Yeah, he just won the SmackDown World Cup. And it's like he's been getting some shine now. Um and I think KO was another one. And of course now he's got the match coming up at the Royal Rumble. And and shit, look at freaking Sami Zayn, who's probably been the MVP of the second half of 2022.
Oh yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah, the honorary Oos.
yeah. And it was like, dude, you think about like all these guys going off, and you think about some of the promos that have been said too, like since Vince been gone. And I think the most important one was the one with Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, where it's like, yeah, we're wrestlers in a wrestling ring. Let's just freaking wrestle. And it was like the fact that they're able to say certain things that they weren't able to say a little while ago, and it's like, and hell, freaking Michael Cole. Let's talk about a reinvention. Like Cole is in Vince's absence. Like this is literally his best commentary he's ever done.
Of course, see when the chains are off, and you have some creative freedom, whether it's announcing or wrestling, everybody's going to shine because everybody is basically relaxed and everybody say, okay, I can take my time and I can do this now. I got some creative freedom. It's Vince is not in his ear constantly yelling in his ear, or saying some shit.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, not to mention, it's like not acting like, oh, we are not going to leave out these backstories now, and like or only bring them up when it's selective memory. Now it's like now we got the full story. Because like they'll be bringing up the like the indie scene like PWG, or they'll bring up, of course, like with Asuka and Io, they'll bring up their time in All Japan and Stardom with the Three Tails, whatever, and yeah, they'll keep mentioning all those other companies now. That whereas Vince like up, it's got to be strictly WWE.
That's true. Also, now to go on Nick Khan for a second here, he recently met with some heavy hitters. Apparently, he met with Disney CEO Bob Iger and ESPN president James Pitaro, which is just to name a few. So those are probably two of your top candidates to buy WWE. They have the money and they have the have the jack. But Saudi Arabia, 620 billion, they probably got the most. But like I said, it's Saudi Arabia, the home country of terrorists. I won't go that route. But like I said, Vince is greedy. Yeah. So with that being said, with Nick Khan meeting with these people, who would you feel comfortable buying it? Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing ESPN buy it because then ESPN can merge their real sports network with sports entertainment and see how that goes. Now, whoever does buy it, really, it's still wrestling and it's still fake. Okay. I can't see them broadcasting that on ESPN. And, like I said, because ESPN covers real sports. Wrestling's not a real sport. So technically it might make ESPN look bad. Disney, I can see doing it more because Disney's more, that child, family friendly, wholesome world where
Yep.
kids grew up, a kid be a kid. But then again, like I said,
Yeah.
you go to Disney, you might see Stone Cold Steve Austin give Mickey Mouse a Stone Cold Stunner. Now, see who wants to watch that? So whoever they're sold to, basically all I'm seeing is being sold and then dying. That's just my take on that. Oh, what's your take?
I can see ESPN doing it because let's not forget, ESPN has had a history with WWE. And I'm not just saying because let's remember that they did cover WrestleMania, I think it was 32 back in Dallas, the
Okay,
first one. Yeah, because remember, because when Coach was kind of splitting his time between ESPN and WWE.
that's right. Yeah, because Coach left them and got a job with ESPN for a
Yep.
while.
And then he was the one that helped initiate. He was kind of like the buffer in between the two since he had a pass with him, and that's how they got that. And like I said, like ESPN's definitely, yeah. And matter of fact, they've actually had a history of broadcasting wrestling because they broadcasted AWA back in the like mid '80s and reruns in the early '90s. So it's not like ESPN doesn't have a history with broadcasting pro wrestling. So I think they, I think they would be open to it again. And like I said, the few times that they've had WWE on their show, that's usually wound up being some good stuff. And I think like the Ric Flair 30 for 30. Um, I know that they had a sports center with Charlotte and Ronda and Becky, like leading into their triple threat at WrestleMania 35. Um, yeah, so they definitely had some incidents there. I think, matter of fact, and they were the first outlet that when Austin and Tyson got into it that one night on Raw back in '98. Yeah, so ESPN definitely would be a good fit for it if anybody did buy it.
Okay, well said. Like I said, we'll see. Like I said, now you mentioned the AWA. Now the AWA was actually good wrestling, so I can understand why ESPN broadcasted them. See, it was a good fit back then because it was good wrestling. Like I said, even though it was entertainment, it was like scripted, but still, it's better because it's more realistic. I can't see today's version of WWE going over well on the ESPN airwaves, but like I said, we will see. It's going to be interesting to see what happens once it is actually sold. If they're looking to sell in 3 to 6 months, I'm gonna say God help them. And like I said, I won't say how long it's gonna last because, like I said, I kind of wonder if Fox still doesn't want a refund or basically a, or reimbursement on that 1 billion for 5 years because SmackDown on Fox, hasn't been the best, but I guess it's gotten a little better. I guess, man, as far as ratings, as long as the
Yeah,
bloodline's there with Sami Zayn has become the most entertaining in the bloodline actually. Without Roman Reigns there, that's the funny thing. But then again, like I said, see if you saw last Friday SmackDown, you could tell
yep.
the way they attacked Kevin Owens. Sam's going to turn on them and rejoin with Kevin at WrestleMania. That's what this is coming to. That's what it's coming. This is all a setup because he's basically going to piss off the bloodline or the bloodline's going to turn on him first. I don't
Yep.
know, but let's let's see now. Yeah. Also, Vince's return may cause a lawsuit against the company to move forward. Apparently, right there, over the summer, several law firms sent out press releases noting they considered bringing a class action lawsuit against WWE following the Vince McMahon hush money scandal. Of course, yeah, they're being investigated for violations of securities laws on behalf of WWE investors, and were focused on whether WWE and/or the company's officers and directors violated the securities laws and breached their fiduciary duties in connection with the above alleged misconduct. It says Cascella Law LLC, Scott plus Scott, Rosen Law Firm, Shaw Law Firm, Brager, Eagle, and Squire Labaton, uh, Susharo, Moore, uh, QN, PLC. All these law firms are basically just some that are investigating the situation. It said the press release issued by the firms referred to the Wall Street Journal reports regarding hush money scandal, which forced him to retire. Of course, yeah. So see, not only him coming back is not a good thing, I don't think the company, but now this lawsuit is going to move forward. That's it. The lawsuits dropped once he left, once he disappeared for a while. And at one point, it says he was enjoying his time away from WWE. He was dating and having free time. So why? So why are you trying to come back now just to fuck everything up again? But like I said, him coming back has been more newsworthy than his shows himself, because that's what everybody's talking about. That's what we're talking about now. So this is all, this is all, like I said, his ego and him. Like I said, I'm thinking, even though he knew he was out at the time, I'm thinking this was pre-planned. This might have been pre-planned. He knew what he wanted to do for the future, so that's why he's doing this now. He knew the scandal. Even some people said the scandal is going to last a while. He'll get a slap on the wrist. He'll be out for a while. But once the investigation was concluded, that's when he went to work, and that's what he knew. He wanted to come back, elect himself on the board, that secure that. Then he's going to sell the company off for a big margin of profit and retire for good, probably.
Yep. Because this one, yeah, typical Vince. Because this is what he does. Is like he thinks of like things to do, and is like, okay, he's got a fail safe just in case like his original idea doesn't work. And yeah, we may not always like it, but yeah, we all know Vince wasn't born yesterday. Like he's definitely somebody who figures out like ways, like, yeah, even if they don't work, like he'll figure out how to lose the minimum, yeah, instead of losing the max down the road. And it's like, yeah, although in this case, like I said, yeah, whoever his buyer is, they're going to make sure they get 100% of the company, and that way they make sure that he ain't a part of it. So for once, this isn't clearly thinking about how much his past is coming back to bite him right now.
That's true, yeah. And even the others have said that he's not going to sell unless he can make himself a part of the package deal. Now he can do that, and then he won't have a buyer. Also, if it's sold again, it may go private again. It may go be from a public traded to a private again. It shouldn't went public in the first place, because he wouldn't be having this trouble. Because back in remember back in the Attitude Era, it was private company. He should have kept private all this time. But that's on him. And I got a new topic here. I found a link from a different source right here. There was a meeting held this past Friday night on the 13th by Triple H. It's right here. Here are some notes from the WWE talent meeting led by Triple H on January 13th. It says the first was Levesque telling the talent that Vince McMahon has returned to the company, of course, to spearhead the search as to whether WWE will sell and who they'll sell to. The second was Levesque reiterating that McMahon's return won't affect the current WWE creative team, which he leads as chief content officer. It says, although he did say that he and McMahon may have discussions about creative. Now, right there, you can't say creative's going to change. All of a sudden, you have discussions with your father-in-law again. So, see, he was always, I think, like I said, you and others, and Heels for Life and others have said that Vince was probably talking to him in his ear or in text messages behind the scenes all this time, which I believe to be true. Yeah. So, see, why are you having discussions if you're doing your job right? Why you need to have discussions with your father-in-law? So here, he says that they may have discussions about creative, but Levesque is the one that makes the final decisions. Yeah, I kind of wonder about that. However, it's worth remembering that WWE did hold a meeting with employees, not talent, last week, and the message was business as usual, and that no management would be changing. And then Stephanie McMahon resigned just days later. Yeah, we know about that. I wonder about that too. So it seems even what's being said in the meetings is a fluid situation and things may change. It's also reported that Nick Khan, WWE's new sole CEO, has been the one running the company and making final decisions. Okay, so Nick Khan's making the final decisions at the end of the day. So he may have his hands in the creative process too, in a sense. Oh well,
Yeah, he's got his
hey,
hands in that creative cookie jar.
yep. So right there, seeing and this information comes from a website called Wrestle Talk, which I just discovered just now. Never saw it before, but it came across on my Twitter feed because a lot of wrestling stuff comes on my Twitter feed of things of sites I never saw before. So I just clicked on it. You know what? With Stephanie resigning, that may cause friction between Vince and Triple H too. So see, there may be some heat, some corporate heat there. So see, there's a lot. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of down low under the hood, under the table heat between the family and the in law. That's how I see that. So, like, what are your thoughts on Triple H's talent meeting from this past Friday the 13th?
Yeah, because I'm like this. Like Triple H is definitely within a rock and a hard place because
That's a damn show.
I know, like, I know, like, he definitely cares about a lot of the talent. And let's forget, a good part of that roster was people that he nurtured at NXT. So, and, and this goes back to something I've historically said. Vince has always had a secret animosity for NXT, especially when it was under Triple H's rule. I don't know why, because NXT is a part of it's your developmental. So basically, yeah, he's getting you prepped. Matter of fact, he has most of the people already perfected for you, where you don't have to change anything. Because at least your WWE audience who actually watches NXT, they're gonna know who your characters are, and they're gonna know what's gonna get them over. And but at the same time, though, uh, I can understand why Triple H wants to, because like hell, Vince gave Paul a shot when Bischoff dropped the ball on him, and he allowed Triple H to become the man that he is. So I can understand why Trips wants to be somewhat thankful to Vince, but at the same time, no, it's like, yeah, how far do you go? Because it's like, yeah, Triple H has had been the one that's had to rebuild so many of the bridges Vince burned in the first place.
Of course,
Hell,
because he rehired all those wrestlers that Vince fired. He basically we hired a whole half a roster. He had to
yeah,
rehire a whole half a roster. And the thing is,
and not just that,
go ahead, yeah.
yeah, not just that, but also look at the Hall of Fame because yeah, remember it wasn't Vince that finally got Bruno in. It was Triple H. Yeah, it was, yeah, and it wasn't Vince who got Warrior back. That was also Triple H.
Now there's two. Is two. Hey, what's up? Shout out to Sherman O. Scott. What's up? And what's up to the viewers in the chat? There's only 4 viewers, but thank you very much for coming through and tuning in. Anyway,
Scott.
yeah. And here's the thing. Oh yeah, that's another subject we can discuss. The Khans apparently want to buy the WWE now. I would love to see AEW merge with WWE and buy WWE now. That would be perfect karma for what Vince did with WCW all those years ago, back in '99 to 2000, when Vince came on
Yeah.
the air and said, "I hold the palm of WCW in my hands." Remember that?
Yep.
I would love to see Tony Khan uh, do something similar to that. I mean, maybe not copy that, but do something similar like that. And like I said, I would love for AEW for Khan to buy WWE. That would open up so many possibilities.
Uh, Now there'd be one issue I'd have with that one.
Okay, do tell.
And it's namely because Tony's already got his hands full already because yeah, he already got like things with the Ring of Honor. And it's like, yeah. Then if you tags on to WWE as well, that's like now you got technically three companies that you're trying to juggle and whatnot, and it's like, yeah. And then, as much as I hate to give MJF credit, now you're really going to be having a lot of ex WWE people coming into your place and ignore your homegrown talent. And it's like, dude, you're basically making MJF like look like he's telling the truth.
That's a good point. Also, another thing that's downside that too. I forgot. If you buy WWE and all the talent stays on, you're going to have a lot of egos to deal with that are going to clash backstage too. And I don't think you want that kind of headache. And then see what Sasha Banks or excuse me Mercedes Monet or I guess Money in French possibly
Yep.
coming into AEW. She might not like that. I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of backlash to that if that would happen. But to watch as a fan, it'd be hilarious to watch
Yeah.
because to see how Britt Baker would deal with somebody like Alexa Bliss. You know what I mean? Knowing how she got famous, or seeing how the WWE divas react to having to work with the world's first transgender superstar. You got
Nyla, yeah.
yeah, not a Rose, yeah, because that's not a real woman. I said that. Notice I said that's. I didn't say she or he. I said that's. That's not a real woman. That's just a guy in drag. Like I said, I got proof. I got pictures of him before he went drag. So I found out his real name and everything. But anyway, I'm just saying. So if the cons by WWE, yeah, again, God help them. Say so. To me, there's not a lot of places that would buy this thing, and it would come out in a good light. I don't know. I'm just saying. I would say yeah, give it to Disney. Disney's probably the best place for it because then you can magnify the entertainment aspect of it. You know what I mean? It can be wrestling, but it can be still more entertainment than ever before. Instead of
Oh.
merging it with a secondary company, which is not that doesn't have the ratings or the popularity as WWE had. You know what I mean? The machine, AEW doesn't have the machine yet. Although I wouldn't mind seeing Moxley, interact with the Bloodline. That'd be a good storyline feud. You could have the Elite versus the Bloodline. You know what I mean? A good six-man match would be Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks versus Roman and the Usos. That'd be a good match.
Yep.
If you want to make it an 8-man, you could add Daniel Bryan and then add
Sami Zayn
no,
or Solo Sikoa.
yeah, Solo Sokoa. So that'd be a good matchup right there. See, oh yeah, Sokola versus Samoa Joe. I'd like to see that match. That'd be a good match. So you have good match possibilities, but like you said, like you said, would Tony Khan do it right? Would he, could he juggle that? Could that be done right the right way?
Yeah.
So there's good fantasy possibilities on a positive note, but it's the egos in the long run backstage. Just the backstage corporate atmosphere. What kind of atmosphere would that be? And would Triple H want to work for Tony Khan? That's another thing, you know what I mean? And also, what would happen in NXT unless you merge NXT with the Ring of Honor, I guess, in a sense. Now, you could do a pay-per-view. That could be a good pay-per-view. NXT versus Ring of Honor. That'd be good.
Yeah.
So that'd be, I'd watch that. So, there's lots of possibilities on as far as wrestling, but I think it'd be a bad atmosphere as far as a corporate area, backstage corporate area. It'd be a bad atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, because you would have like some massive politicians up there, and it's like, yeah. Although you would have some star making matches for some potential star making matches, because as much as like people kind of like raved off of them or whatever, but yeah, if you ever did have a match between Charlotte and Britt, yeah, I'd say them two would be money because promos would definitely. Oh, those two would definitely light into each other personally. Oh,
Oh
there'd
yeah, I
be
didn't
that,
even think about that. Charlotte
and
and Britt.
then
You know what? It might be a good feud on camera, but I bet you backstage they would not get along because I can already see
oh,
those two glaring at each other. Like I said, I think those two clashing would be worse than her and Becky Lynch, who are actually
yeah,
friends.
yeah,
So because I don't see because from what I've seen, I don't think Britt Baker gets along with people backstage too much because I think her ego, since she's the top woman slash dog back
yeah,
there, I don't see her and Charlotte Flair getting along. So see, and then add in Sasha Banks to the mix. See, it's a whole new set of headaches for Tony Khan because he's going to have a hard time controlling things.
yeah.
So yeah,
Then again, also, yeah, but then again, also because we praise our black excellence. Yeah, can you imagine Jade versus Bianca? Mhm.
Jada versus Bianca.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Jade Cargill. Yeah, versus Bianca. That would be probably a good match and a good feud. Now I like to see that. I would like to see that. So see once again, see we're already talking about good possibilities of what we might see, and
yeah,
but at the same time we're also talking about in the long run what the headaches it might cause. Like I said, because you're gonna have a whole lot of egos backstage there. There's too many egos in one place,
yeah,
and that's a bad mix. That's basically like a stick of dynamite. That's just something that's going to boil up and explode.
yeah.
And then if it happens, like I said,
That's
see,
why. That's why they're going to try and keep them two as far away. Try and keep those two companies far away from each other because, yeah, if somehow they ever wound up on the same umbrella, whether it be both like airing on the same networks or whatever, yeah.
yeah,
But at the same time, though, I do got to give this that they've had a couple of incidents where they were both doing things on the same day, but they were really mindful of each other because remember Worlds Collide and All Out were both on the same day, and WWE actually ended Worlds Collide way before that show was supposed to end, so that and plenty of time so that All Out could do their 0 hour, and then with Tony doing Ring of Honor Final Battle, that ended in enough time for NXT to do Deadline.
I hear that. I hear that. Let's get somebody comments right here. Yeah, Shamos, he's been busy. He met some of these people. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say they're killing WWE, but if Khan has the bucks and the money, he can negotiate a deal with Vince. Hey, but it'll also be entertaining now.
Yep.
At the same time, you see Tony Khan and Vince walk out on the AEW Dynamite on the same time. That'd be like oh shit. Okay, so I guess he did. I guess he did the deed.
Yeah.
So
Kind of with when Bischoff walked out on Raw, he gave him that hug and whatnot.
yeah, well that was all because Vince knew he won, so and Bischoff wanted the job. But hey, it is what it is. Oh, okay. Speaking of Mercedes Moné, as we all saw in
Yeah. Wrestle
JPW,
Kingdoms.
Wrestle Kingdom, yeah. Now, Mercedes Moné has only been in JPW for a little over a week, but apparently she has upset some people without even knowing it. No surprise there. The former Sasha Banks made her debut by confronting Carrie at Wrestle Kingdom 17 on January 4th. This set up Monet challenging Carrie for the IWGP Women's Championship at February 18th Battle in the Valley event. Following her debut, Monet has been active on social media by sharing photos and videos from her training sessions with her Japanese wrestling stars. It's been reported that some people in New Japan Pro don't want Sasha Banks posting photos with stars from other companies. Yeah, because she did pose with also FTR, Bailey, and Naomi. Because now Bailey was there as a fan. That's why she went on camera. So was Naomi. Says there were people talking because of the belief Monet has been promoting Sendai Girls and Tokyo Joshi Pro more than Stardom and the IWGP Women's title. She posted photos from the Sendai Girls dojo saying she wanted to wrestle women that work for that promotion in Tokyo Joshi Pro. The feeling is that now that she's
Oh,
with Bushai Road, she should be only promoting Bushai Road companies in Japan. It's noted that Monet didn't go to any Stardom shows or the dojo while in Japan and pointed out that it's likely nobody has ever explained the mentality in Japan about this to her. Okay, once again, right there. See, I think with Sasha Banks' Stardom in WWE,
hmm.
she's taken that shit to Japan, which she should not do. Japan, Sasha, is a whole different ball game.
Yep.
So you need to tone down your legit boss bullshit and try pay your dues a little bit and respect the Japanese because they don't play down there. So see, as fast as she's been down there, she could be gone just as fast as she came in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not to mention, like, Japan's very territorial because,
Yep.
and matter of fact, because we really, yeah, because I know, like, yeah, because I know, like, Quez and I talked a little bit about this on a Wolfpack podcast, and of course, my boys Hill and Antonio, we talk about this on Embrace the Thirst. That if you remember last year with Forbidden Door, did you notice that there were no did you notice that there were no AAA people involved in that one?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, maybe,
and
yep. Maybe they didn't want to come to the forbidden door, and that's their choice.
no,
So that's their right. So
no, there's a reason why. Because remember, New Japan is actually partnered with CMLL, which is AAA's rival. So it's
oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, so yeah, for anybody that knows that knows about Lucha Libre, that Antonio Pena, who runs AAA, used to work at CMLL, but he wasn't like in the direction that the company was going, so he left and took like a lot of their big stars, and that's what started AAA up. And then yeah, and that's why AAA and CMLL don't like each other. And then of course AEW pair with New Japan. Now even though AEW's worked with AAA, because especially with the Lucha Bros, but then New Japan works with CMLL, yeah, yeah, that kind of prevented a lot of AAA guys from getting involved. So and to go back to tying this back into Mercedes, yeah, yeah, New Japan have been tight with Stardom for like a little while, and that's why they ultimately built up the IWGP Women's Championship. There's although like Stardom and maybe like Tokyo Joshi, they kind of have like a loose association, but they really don't partner up like that. But that's where that whole thing of why New Japan only wants to work with Stardom girls instead of like Sendai and uh Joshi Pro.
Got you very well said. Hey, like I say, as far as Mercedes Monet, it is what it is. Um, whatever. I'm thinking. I saw an article where it says she's supposed to show up on Dynamite next week. I'll believe it when I see it because Tony Khan had it built up to be the one to partner with Soraya on last Wednesday, the mystery partner, but it was Tony Storm, obviously.
Oh,
So basically,
yeah,
I don't think Tony Khan. I don't even think Tony Khan has the money to pay Sasha what she wants. And so I think New Japan Pro paid her the big bucks that she wanted, more than what WWE was paying her. That's why she went there. So but like I said, I don't think she's full time there. I think she's gonna do independence for a while.
Yeah.
So, but if she comes to AEW, like I said, God help Tony, God help you. Britt Baker, God help you. So there's gonna be, like I said, just those two alone are gonna clash. But
And
go
let's
ahead.
not forget, if Sasha do go up to AEW, let's not forget that Soraya may not be too happy about that since was Sasha with the drop kick that kind of put her out of
Yeah,
action for 5 years.
yeah, almost 7 years. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Soraya, there was an article of Soraya supporting Sasha what she did, but you're right. Yeah, I don't think Soraya probably she'd probably be leery about working with Sasha and getting in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since it was her fault that Paige had to retire for a while, so it took her a long time, almost 7 years, same amount of time it took CM Punk to get back to get wrestling himself. But like I say, as far as the whole ball of wax of it, whether Sasha was WWE being sold to whoever, I think the moment WWE gets sold, I think the wrestling business is going to die out slowly because it's not going to be the same. It's going to be it's going to change because basically now all it is about it's about money. It's about business and money. It's a business.
Yep.
It's about money. It's like the indies will never get a TV deal, which they should because there's a lot of indie wrestling that's awesome. That's better than what you see on Raw and SmackDown. But see, it's indies. It's not national TV.
Yeah.
So
And unfortunately, another thing with the indie scene is that, it's that they don't also have the production value because, like I said, they're working on almost next to nothing.
henceforth, why it's called the indies.
Yep.
Hey,
And
but go ahead.
I am even for somewhere that actually does have like something like MLW, like some of the Cali's scene, like championship wrestling from Hollywood and stuff like that. And hell, even at NWA, yeah, they may have some good production to it, but it's like unfortunately, your only main things are social media sites like YouTube, like Fight TV, and stuff like that, or whatever they have. And it's like, even though a lot of people use YouTube, a lot don't always watch it.
Yep, that's true. Yep. Oh, let's see what else we got. Okay. Oh yeah. Side note, what do you think of Dominique's character now, where he's goddamn well that motherfucker didn't serve no time in prison, and he's acting like he served like 10 or 15 years in prison. Come on now.
And
He's
dressing
all,
like Conan for now.
yeah, trying to be thugged out. Come on now, please. You did not serve. You only if you serve time in prison, you would necessarily be working for WWE right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not because even that they got Nails years ago. Nails was just a jailhouse character, just like Boss Man was a cop character. Nails never went to prison really.
Yeah, but I do gotta say, there's still but even though it's corny as hell, like Dom's trying to make the best out of it. And like I said, it comes off hokey, but hey, it's better than what he was doing. Which
it's basically comic relief, just like Sami Zayn is. It's comic relief. That's what it comes off as.
yeah, but the strange thing is that it's finally getting him over a little bit. Although, maybe not getting him as much as far as the ring time goes, but it's like showing, hey, the kid actually may have some personality after all.
Yeah, Johnny Mills. Yeah, rest in peace to Don West. Yeah, Don West was awesome. He was funny. him and Mike Tenay were probably the best commentary team I like to watch and listen to since the days of Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah.
Difference is Don West didn't become a heel until years later.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mean, which they tried though, but you know, it was only lasted for a while.
Damn. And I said this like what Don West lacked in professional wrestling knowledge, he made up for it in enthusiasm because I tell you, like he definitely like especially when a big high spot came in, like he sold the excitement like perhaps as good as anybody. And I had to say, like, he and Mike Tenay were the perfect balance because Tenay was the wrestling knowledge provider. West was more like was like that color commentator who reacted like a fan. And what was great is that I think they kind of like started feeling a little bit better because as Don became within the sport, he started sounding off knowledgeable, but he never lost that fanhood. Whereas today, now he started becoming a little more excitable when he was actually on his play-by-play.
That's true. That when I first heard Don West, I mean, he sounded very knowledgeable in wrestling. I mean, I don't know what he knew and where he came from. I guess he had some experience, you know, because I mean, he was the first. He was like I said, when TNA first got a national TV deal from when they moved up from doing their weekly pay per views for $9.99 a week. So he sounded very knowledgeable, you know. I mean, I guess some people sound smarter than others. I don't know. Well, we pretty much covered everything, all the topics, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything. Oh, did you watch Impact Hard to Kill?
Actually, I did not, but I did.
Yeah,
get a
I
couple
missed
of
it too. Yeah,
results
see,
for it.
it came on Friday night. This same SmackDown. I mean, I know I watched it for the replay, but Mickey James won the title. I don't know. I don't know about the other
Wow.
matches. Yeah, she won the title back from Jordan Grace.
I did not think that. I thought that was going to be a swan song, to be honest with you. But
yeah, well, Mickey is getting old. She's supposed to be retiring. Plus, she has a child at home. So I guess maybe they want to.
sure.
I guess maybe Impact sees maybe they want to try to give her a run where they can market the company and you know, I guess maybe sell the company, try to use her as the face of the company for a while. I don't know, but more power to her if it works out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But also, but I did hear about Josh Alexander and Bully Ray and their Full Metal Mayhem, and I was like,
oh, okay, yeah, he was on the show. Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it for that. Just now, I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but I'll watch that because I love a full. It's basically like an ECW
yeah,
street fight match type of thing.
yep,
Because Abyss used to do Full Metal Mayhem matches on Impact or when it was TNA Impact.
yeah,
See, the thing is, I don't watch Impact too much now. Impact's not as good as what it was in the early 2000s, 2007 when you had the beautiful people, you had Sting, you had all the. I mean, it was just better. Now it's I mean, it's based in Canada. It's moved to Canada now. It's just not as good for some reason. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe I should start watching it, but it's not as good as what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it was the Impact Zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm thinking like Impact. Yeah, they've gotten. Yeah, like they've had their moments or whatever, but I gotta say, like, man, when they were on Access, I actually think they still are, but like when they first moved to Access, yeah, they were really doing stuff, and then unfortunately, they got the double whammy because first Tessa Blanchard got in all her bullshit, so that was that,
Oh,
and then of course the pandemic.
you're right about that. You're right about that. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, but we're gonna discuss Tesla in a second too. For a second.
Yeah,
Before
but
we get
then
out of here.
then of course the pandemic didn't help matters much either. So it was like, yeah, having both of those incidents happen were like right within each other. Yeah. But on the come up side of things, yeah, Yeah, I'd say Impact was one of the few companies that actually benefited from the pandemic because they were kind of used to already performing with next to nobody, but then it actually gave some people a chance to elevate, like Trey Miguel, because now dude's been like the face of the X division for the last 2.5 years or so. Josh Alexander breaking when the North broke away. I was like, he's showed up, and the dude literally lives up to his name as the walking weapon because you know he can beat you with his hands, he can beat you with his feet, yeah, and if you actually give him a weapon, he'll beat you with that too. Um, Eric Young's refound himself, especially with Violent by Design. Um, yeah, Eddie Edwards always still performing high. Rich Swann definitely overcoming things after his WWE departure, and I know a lot of people kind of give like Moose some shit, no pun intended, but yeah, he even stepped up. So all in all, I gotta say this: like if Impact, I would say this: if they slow play their momentum and like really develop people, I'm gonna tell you what, they could be the sleeper. They could be the sleeper company of 2023.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but look, speaking of Tessa Blanchard, there's see if I can find it. I know it's in there. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. You know, she got married to this guy. Uh,
Oh, Daga. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess they were married maybe they were married maybe for a year or so or several months. But apparently they have unfollowed each other on Twitter, and I got a well, I got a thing. I think I sent it to you. Uh, Daga posted a thing on his yeah, I got it right here on his Twitter, but he deleted it. It says right here, cheating is the most disgusting, hurtful, and disrespectful thing you could do to someone you say you love. So apparently, Tessa Blanchard, I don't know what her deal is, and she was like one of the hottest talents around, at the time. But of course, the whole racism situation, though, she's spitting in this black wrestler's face in front of witnesses and people who said, spit her and called her the N word and everything, and also the way she left Impact, she left and then come back. They had to strip her of the title, of course,
Yeah.
all this other stuff, and now cheating on her husband. Apparently, I guess I don't know if it was her or maybe both sides. I don't know, but I guess he found out she was cheating, but because he deleted it and posted a statement on Instagram about they decided to part ways and remain friends. But I don't see how. Basically, Tessa Blanchard a hoe. That's all. Almost all I'm gonna say right there. She, you know, but the thing is, apparently she's not much. She's not too much different from her father because her father was he became a douchebag too in later years. He started messing with drugs, and that's why WWE never really signed him back, brought him back. We done a drug test, and at one point, it's Tony Blanchard's disappeared from AEW. I guess he has probably left and went home. So
Mhm.
I don't know what to tell you there, but Tessa,
And
yeah,
this and man, this is
go
like
ahead.
a crazy scenario because Tessa was like one of the most talented people on God's great earth, and yeah, now like all this shit that she's been going through, like I don't care like how talented somebody is, man. If you get yourself into one too many, yeah, like one too many negative situations, yeah, eventually, yeah, people gonna lose faith in you. And like I said, you think like Tessa's grown up in a wrestling family, so you think like Of course, she's got Tully Blanchard as his dad, Magnum TA as her stepdad, or whatever. And yeah, so she's definitely like used to being around controversies and stuff. So unfortunately, I guess this is like one of those times where you say the apple eh, don't fall far from the tree.
True that. Yeah. Well, hey, and look, I saw a YouTube video with her being interviewed. She left wrestling and is going to school right now. I guess so. I think she's been blacklisted now from the business anyway.
Hmm.
But on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, matter of fact, just want to say this: that first and foremost, X, glad to see you back, glad you're up and running again, and yo, I just gotta say this to everybody: please keep your eyes and ears out for anything that's happening in the wrestling world. And one extra thing, reporters, if y'all see wrestling news, damn it, make sure it's fact, not a rumor.
All right. My final thought is, like I said, I want to send a shout out to my brother Zargon who couldn't join us. Shout out to Black Z Fighter, aka Quentin. Shout
Yeah,
out to Ills Life Podcast.
thanks Scott and Johnny for
Yep.
in the comment section, by the way.
Yep. Shout out to Shermo Scott, Johnny. Thanks for tuning in for all the comments. Also, shout out to my brothers in the PW Hustle. Also, I don't know when I'll be back with another show. It could be sometime. I'm gonna try to come back as much as I can. But like I said, Reese, thanks for joining.
As always.
Yeah. All we'll say is now peace and blessings, and y'all have a blessed weekend. Oh, Dr. Martin Luther King, may he continue to rest in power.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We out.